So, as I said, this episode's called They Shoot Single People, don't they? Mm-hmm. And we open up, Carrie and the ladies are at Salsa Club downtown, having a blast.
Aww.
They're like cheersing to being single. It's like a real single ladies out, like, woo, we own this city. We own the night type of night. I love it.
Yep.
So they're cheers into being single. Charlotte, of course, thinks it's bad luck to cheers to being single because she doesn't want to end up alone and jinx herself or whatever the hell. And I love how Samantha advised her. Good, quick advice. They got to remind Charlotte every now and then. Like, she advised her, make sure you enjoy men. Don't expect them to fill you up.
Yes.
So simple and so true. Amen.
Yeah. Yes.
Charlotte puts a lot of stock in what this man is going to provide for her.
I know. She gives like real Final Destination high. As I'll be married, it'll be all great once I'm married.
100%. So Samantha, she's having her girls' night, not checking for no dudes. Of course, William, the club owner, comes up to her and like slides his car, wants to dance with her. She's like, no, I'm on a girls' night. Carrie's like, oh, I gotta run. I'm shooting New York Magazine, tomorrow morning. They're doing this whole profile on single and fabulous women. So she doesn't go out. I mean, she doesn't go home. She ends up staying out all night.
She stays out. This reminded me of our first photo shoot.
Did we stay up, Nate? Did we stay up all night?
Stayed up all night. We went to Peking Duck House and then we went to Apothekeek. And I was mixing Hennessy, red wine, white wine, and tequila.
I feel like shit. You're talking about the one that we did, our very first cover. I do remember this. We were hungover and felt like ass.
I threw up 15 minutes before that photo was taken.
You did. Oh my God, I forgot about that. What the fuck were we thinking? We looked like hell for a day. We were supposed to be like feeling and looking our best.
Our absolute best.
Why did we do this?
New York does that to you.
Sometimes the night just captures you.
The night captures you, especially before you're about to do a big important thing.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you're the queen of New York. You're the mayor.
You're the mayor. Doing big things tomorrow, bitch. You ain't know. Ooh, let's do shots. What? How does that logic check?
Never does. It didn't for Carrie.
No, sure didn't. Stayed out all night. She overslept. Showed up an hour late to the shoot.
Oh my God.
She looked like hell. They just threw her right in front of the camera. Told her they're doing test shots, right? And just like threw her there. No makeup, no prep, nothing. So later we see Carrie, Miranda, and Charlotte out on a power walk in Central Park. And Miranda runs into a guy, an ophthalmologist, who goes running by. And we learned that she previously used to sleep with him and she would fake her orgasms.
Yikes.
And then ditched him.
Yeah.
Charlotte, of course, is like, oh, whatever. I fake orgasms all the time.
Yeah. That's better than loneliness. Faking orgasms.
That's fine. What?
Cha-cha.
Oh, yeah. Friend, I couldn't help but wonder.
Yikes. What?
What are your thoughts? You don't gotta tell much.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on faking orgasm? Is there any productivity to it?
Oof. If you're trying to get rid of him, yeah. If you're trying to get this nigga out your house, for sure.
Yes. Like move this along type of thing.
Yeah. I can't be doing this. And you can't like suspend your imagination. Like you can't do it anymore. And then also, if you're only going to sleep with him once.
That too. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You already know you're not into it.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you like sex for women, I feel like I don't have to have an orgasm every single time.
Same, yeah.
In order to like have fun. It's gonna be fun.
To enjoy it, of course.
Yeah, to enjoy it. So there's that too. There's like occasions for that too, where you just don't have to have one. But faking it though is different than like openly not having one. Right.
Yeah, I agree. I think the productivity is if you're not into this dude and you just need it to end sooner. Just wrap this up. Yep. There it is. Otherwise, sex takes effort and energy and work, and I don't have extra energy to also stroke your ego. That's how I think about it.
Right.
This is already a lot. Why I gotta do extra just to make you feel good? No. I ain't got it.
And as Esther Perel says, good sex is all about the woman's ego. That's what she says.
Oh, yeah, I love that. That makes sense.
Right? That makes so much sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
I have to feel like literally superwoman to have like really good sex. Like I have to feel like like Jessica Rabbit, like
Powerful.
the most attractive, powerful woman in the world to like really get there. And she talks about that a lot. And so I don't have time for you because you are probably going to have an orgasm no matter what.
Exactly. You're already the center of this whole fucking thing. No.
Yes,
like, I'm not doing more to appease you. No. Ugh. Anyways, Carrie, after her little walk, stops at a newsstand to get some coffee. When she sees herself on the cover of New York Magazine, and it's her test shot. She looks like hell.
Awful.
There I was, hanging right next to Martha Stewart living, Carrie Bradshaw dying of embarrassment.
Awful. Even the lighting, they couldn't even. They backlit my girl. They didn't
backlit. The lighting was worse.
Yeah, it was way worse.
It was worse.
Yeah.
And then they have the title splashed across her face: "Single and Fabulous?" Question mark. Just they set her all the way up. Oh
yes, this was the illest of setups we've ever seen.
Real bad.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
She meets with the ladies, and obviously they're all so pissed, and just talking about how like every few years an article comes out like this, right, where they're trying to scare young women into getting married, and just how horrible it is to be single and washed up and lonely, and all the women are terrible and miserable, and so they're like
into Charlotte's, right?
Yes.
Like who are like, it'll be better if this is how men get away with not giving people orgasms. It'll just be better. It's better than being lonely.
Yeah. This is literally what Charlotte said on the walk. She's like, why not? You just need the companionship, don't you? Like, what?
Isn't this companionship right now, bitch?
Right. I'm fine with you, girl. Like, I don't need that extra foolishness. Oh my God. So anyways, that next week, something about the article kind of just like slithers into
everybody's ether. Yeah.
Everyone's ether.
Yeah. And then they're like third eye almost. Everybody's like, it's like lingering around everybody's aura, I guess.
So Miranda calls up the fake orgasm guy.
Yeah.
Samantha goes out with the club owner. Charlotte now has a platonic guy friend that seems like he lives in the building. He comes over to help her with little handyman stuff, and he comes over, set up her new TV. He's talking about he's moving out of New York, moving to Salt Lake City, pursue his acting. And she, for whatever reason, decides to make a move on him. Now she's like, well, let me give him a try. Like, just all of them are like faking it in certain ways just because they don't want to feel or experience their loneliness or think about their being single too much.
Yeah.
So Carrie's wondering, is it better to fake it than to be alone? So we see the ladies out again, another girls' night, and Miranda's talking about the fake orgasm guy and how men don't know anything about vaginas. But she's like,
now it's men don't know anything about vaginas.
Not all of them. But she's like, he's nice, he means well, whatever.
He means well is fucking crazy. You know why? Because he thinks he's killing it.
He does. He really does.
Well, he thinks they're having a great time. It's just like the movies with him. Oh my God.
That's why I don't have the time for that. You don't get to orgasm and get to feel good about making me quote unquote orgasm at the same time. That's what? That's not fair at all.
No, not at all.
Now, Samantha goes out with the club owner, right? He's talking her up in his ear, in her ear.
Yeah.
He's getting a house in the Hamptons this summer. You know, we should go on walks on the beach. We can cook together. We can do this and that and that and this. And she's just letting the weed just wash all over her. She's hype about the Hamptons. She's allowing herself to go there. Yeah, the fantasy of this weed with this guy. Miranda, meanwhile, is still a fake orgasm guy. She finally decides this night to stop faking it and reveals to him that she's been faking it all along.
Yeah.
Get a little truth for him. His first reaction is like, oh, do you have like a physical problem or something? There's something wrong with you? She's like, no, bro, chances are I'm not the first woman who's faked it with you. So then he kind of humbled himself. I appreciated it.
Yeah.
He was like, what are some tricks? Let me learn something. And so we see a little later in the episode, her and homeboy still going at it. He's trying, right? He's trying his hardest.
Yeah, which is never... Well, for some people, I'm sure that is attractive, right?
Yeah, like really trying to make it work, like really centering her and really trying to make it seem like he's doing something. It's not working. He's not doing anything. And Miranda at this point makes up her mind. She's like, I just want to get through this.
Yep.
So she fakes it just one last time.
Ugh.
Now, Charlotte, meanwhile, her platonic friend and her dating now. He decides he's not leaving New York, or he's not going to move to Utah anymore. And Charlotte's now living in this fantasy, like, he's been right under my nose the whole time.
Yeah, she'd rather live there and just like be there, as if she can take this man back to whatever the fuck country club to go marry this man.
I don't know. Yeah, he's like a struggling actor, wants to move to Salt Lake City to join some Mormon soap opera, some bullshit he was talking about.
Yep.
But she's so afraid to be alone that she's like, this is good enough. You know, he's right. And she's making up this make believe story. He was right under my nose the whole time. Like, oh my God. Now, Carrie's wondering herself, watching Charlotte, like, the fuck is this? If she's been faking being happy and single all this time. If she's actually not happy and is more miserable than she's letting on. So we see her go out downtown with Stanford on a little night out, and she
with
gets
the Dutch
wasted.
angle, right?
Yeah, that's the wasted. We're drunk and a mess angle. Yup. So she gets wasted. She ends up meeting. She gets wasted. She's like so set on meeting somebody. Stanford's like, all right, girl, I'm out. Leaves, and she meets Bradley Cooper.
Bradley fucking Cooper, who looks the same.
So good for him. I think I read this was his first acting job. First on-screen role ever. Sex in the City, which is amazing. So they make out. They have a whole night, making out on the dance floor, going wild. And they ride off in his Porsche. And he stops at a little newsstand to get a pack of cigarettes. And just as Carrie was starting to feel herself again, right? Just as she's coming along, she's fluffing her hair in the mirror. He comes with that motherfucking magazine talking about, is this you?
Is this you?
And there it was. My question mark staring me right in the face. Was that me?
She said, nope, gotta go. And just ditched him. Just walked right out of the car and was gone.
Him and the Porsche. Yep.
Now, Samantha, meanwhile, is waiting. She's at a restaurant. She's supposed to have dinner plans with William, the wee guy with the Hamptons house. And he stands her up.
Yeah. This is a thing with these wee future planning guys. I forget what the term is.
Yeah.
This faking future faking guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. So stands her up. She's so embarrassed. She realized he faked a whole future to get what he wanted in the present, which was badass. And she's distraught. She spills her wine. She runs off to the bathroom. She has this whole random moment with
the waiter.
The Pakistani busboy.
Yeah.
We don't get too many black and brown people with lines.
That's true.
Joe don't know what the little counter This is probably our second person of color we've seen on the show. This is season 2, episode 4. All right. But it was cute. And then Charlotte, we see she's in bed with her new boyfriend, this dude who she does not like.
My God, she does not like him.
He says he actually does want to move to Salt Lake City. She's faking the whole, oh really? I'll miss you.
Yeah, right.
She knows she wants nothing to do with this person.
No.
And then all the ladies that week just stopped faking it. All the fake shit they're doing. Miranda didn't call her guy back with the fake orgasm. Samantha confronts the club owner. Charlotte breaks it off with her handyman boyfriend, whatever. And we end the episode with Carrie taking herself out on a lunch little solo date. No books, no man, no armor, no faking, she says.
Oh man.
Yep.
I love seeing those girls.
I know.
On their solo dates.
On their little solo moments. So Carrie's question, is it better to fake it than to be alone? So New York Magazine gave Carrie the ill setup with the single and fabulous question mark. And they talked about how every few years, right, women, they keep, with these articles trying to
remind us.
Remind us, right? Your worth is when you get married, bitch. This was 2001 or 2002 when this came out, right? Do you feel like these articles still exist, or do you feel like the tides have changed on the outlook of single women?
Yeah, I think they have changed so majorly with the advancement that women have made on the internet. I'll never stop singing these praises. I think the way that women have taken over their own lives, not necessarily taken over industries, not necessarily like, whatever, right? I think we still have a problem with white supremacy and patriarchy when the top male or the top beauty person in the beauty industry on YouTube is still a white man.
Really?
Jeffree Star.
Who? Oh, I forgot about him. He's still around.
He is still around, and he'll never go. He's too famous. He'll never not make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on any platform that he's on.
Yeah.
So when it comes to things like that, we still obviously have a problem with white supremacy and patriarchy up at the top. But the way that women have made advancements for their own lives and are able to create their own lives themselves, we're having a lot more questions about men being weird and a lot less questions about why are these women out and single ? And questioning women in their singleness. We're now questioning why are these men so threatened by these women who now have their own lives.
Yeah. I think the narrative has definitely changed because women are more so owning the narrative. Like when I see this single and fabulous ? New York Magazine, I'm like, this is a man wrote this. A man is like trying to promote this message. Like, I think we more as women are more collectively in agreement that, brunch on Saturday with our girlfriends is more fun than going on another bad date. We're loving solo trips and girls trips, and we're talking about it with each other. We're encouraging each other and proving to each other that we can thrive while being single. And so that narrative definitely still exists that, a woman, you're not anything until you find a man or until you get married.
For sure. Yeah.
That's still the, age old tale. But I think we're also, even just according to statistics, we're also just like staying single longer. And into ages where we have money and independence and are taking care of ourselves and are finding ourselves in happy, healthy places while being single. So it's like we're kind of like proving to each other and to this narrative that like it doesn't look or feel that bad to be by myself, So that's nice. I love that progress. Sometimes the show doesn't age that well, but that's a great way that it has aged well.
That's true. That's true. I do wish though, and maybe you know more, the way that Carrie was this poster child for single and fabulous ? Of, 20 of like the most single people in Manhattan. I feel like that is what they have made Tracee Ellis Ross to be. That she is the only single woman who is happy alive currently today. And I wish there were more of them.
Yeah.
And I see why there's not, because the way that they fuck around with Tracee and her identity, her age too. I've been hearing a lot of questions about her age, like if what she does is appropriate for her age. I hear a lot of people like questioning that because she's always showing her body off and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I know that's because you don't. Okay, because you
because you wish you could. That's why
wish you could look like
Tracee
that.
alone.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I would be butt ass naked.
She's 51. Absolutely.
Right.
I'd be butt ass naked everywhere too if I look like this at 51.
Okay. Oh my God. Yeah, people are so weird. But anyways, she gets a lot of scrutiny. So it doesn't surprise me that there's not another one.
Right. Yeah, I know. I want to sign up for that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I wish there was more. I wish there were more women who were out single and like representing for the single lady community.
Yeah. Tracee can't be the one sole person. I think we talked about it too on another episode where Tracee came up again too. The like child-free women, right? Those conversations, that woman, that lifestyle, that choice, those conversations are still very few and far between. Even the term child-free versus childless, like I think we're just learning some new terminology to make it seem less like steeped in the patriarchy as well. So yeah, I think we're on the precipice of something, right? The fact that we're even like having these conversations, the fact that Tracy even exists, the fact that there's so many of us that look up to her, you know what I mean? And she's not in a very positive way, right?
Right.
We've made a lot of progress, but the end goal is still generally you need to find a man or else, you know? And so that's the prevailing attitude for so long. It's going to take a while to like penetrate that, but we've come some way.
We have. Nice. Do you think what has maybe helped with that is some of the women who have hid their relationships, like Oprah, Beyonce, Issa Rae? They have really stood in front of their career accomplishments, and their relationship is truly not even an appetizer. It's not even on the menu.
Yeah, I never thought about that. That is, I mean, just Beyonce and Oprah alone, 2 billionaire ass bitches who, are very notoriously private, and don't want, like, they have so many successes on their own. They don't want their marriage to be counted as a success. Oprah's not even married, but like her long-term partnership with Stedman River to be counted as part of her successes. And I think that is important.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's an important, and I think it's so important that somebody like an Issa, who he could live in my building. I have no
idea what that man looks like. Yeah. I've seen one picture of him maybe.
And even her wedding being such a secret. Like she just keeps all that shit so close to the chest that it has not hurt or helped her advancement in any way, career-wise, from what we know. And who knows how men look at these types of women, right? I feel like men look at single women funny and they're like, oh, you weren't chosen by one of mine. I don't know about you. You know? So who knows, behind the scenes. But still, I think we just look at them as the accomplished, fabulous woman who happens to be married, happens to be a mother, happens to whatever. And I think that has shifted a lot in terms of the child-free woman, the single woman, etc.
Yeah. Nice. I never thought about that in that way. And I wonder if that was, I'm sure it had to have been like a conscious choice and decision. It had to have been because we just talked about J-Lo during
my God
last week's pre-show. Who's made a very conscious choice to be very public about her love life, and it's part of her narrative, right? In a way that Issa and Beyonce both having like very private weddings with like barely any pictures out of it is part of their, a choice that they wanted to make for, you're not going to like think about me in my relationship. I want you to think about me and my business. And that's that,
Oh my God. And now I think about J-Lo. Everything she writes about her loves has always tanked. Remember Dear Ben? Remember that song? She was rolling around in those white sheets.
No, I don't pay attention to nothing that lady does music-wise. I only pay attention to the mess. Girl. Oh, no. Dear Ben.
Dear Ben. It was so crazy.
That she wrote?
The first time she was with Ben way back in the day. And, oh my God, that godforsaken movie she just made now, talking about how much she gets married, is always a flop.
Always a flop, girl.
Oh, Jennifer. Oh my God, I haven't thought about that correlation. Damn, girl.
That was a choice. She could have made a different one.
It was.
She could have made a different choice.
Yeah. You keep singing about the club, and we would love it.
We would love it, girl. God. Now, in this episode, we see all the women faking it with guys to some extent, right? Have you ever faked it or had a relationship go on too long because you were specifically trying to stave off loneliness or stave off being single, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. First of all, I would like to give a PSA. Any women you're dating men, the best rule that I have found with men who are the most giving in bed have the rule of don't fake it. And like, if you can't get there, just let me know.
Just let me know.
And we'll flip around. We'll switch around. I'll leave you alone. Whatever. But that is the best, I think, because that means they're really into the giving. Anyways, I think when it comes to faking for loneliness, for sure, I have had so much pressure on the definition of womanhood to be chosen for the longest time. Seeped a lot of it in religion. And also my mom got married young, but she also did a lot in the 80s. My mom graduated from high school in 1980 and had me by November 1989.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So she did everything in a decade.
Yeah.
And she was very efficient with her life. And I think she had that expectation of me because I went to the same school.
Okay.
I was, very like efficient hard worker, whatever the hell. And so she thought that same thing was going to happen for me. And she wanted it to be speedy the way for her it was speedy.
Yeah. Okay.
And it just isn't. And so she pressured my whole family pressured me into some things that I probably shouldn't have been doing. That mean guy who flew me out to South Carolina definitely shouldn't have gone on that flight. Girl, what are you doing? But I was doing it because I thought, even for the hope and the prayer and the wish, that I was going to be chosen one day. And that is so much more detrimental than being by yourself and loving the things that are about being by yourself. Because you only get to enjoy them once you meet your person. It's over.
That's it. Yeah.
You will never be alone ever again. Like how one day you like start walking when you're little and you never get back into a stroller. Yeah. One day you're not single and you're never going to be single ever again.
That nigga's going to be right next to you for the rest of your life. Yeah. Dang. So the pressure of like external voices, or like, this is how I did it, so this was what's going to work for you. And yeah.
He has this on paper. It should work. Why isn't it?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. And it's... You think it's like well-intentioned, right? Our parents only want the best for us.
Yep.
Generally, I mean, they don't want to see us suffer, but sometimes kind of pushing us in those directions, particularly as women. If anyone's getting pushed into,
it's women.
But he's a good one. Just hang on. Like,
just hang on.
It's usually someone speaking to their daughter, niece, sister, saying some shit like that. Yeah. I've never been in a relationship with someone that I shouldn't have been with, but I definitely went on one too many dates with someone. I felt at the time it was better to just keep hanging out with him rather than just like be alone again.
Yeah. Yes.
There's this guy I dated. I'm honestly a little ashamed when I was thinking about this, putting this together.
That's okay. We all have that.
Whatever. I know. This was at least a year or two before Nate.
Oh wow.
And I went out with this guy for several months, like tons of dates. Cynthia met him.
What?
We went together to her improv show. She was an improv at the time.
Oh, fun. Nice.
Nice guy. And I think was at the stage where, maybe I might bring him around people or whatever the hell. Huge red flag. This guy was an R. Kelly fan.
No!
I'm talking, saw him in concert several times.
No!
Was like an R. Kelly apologist. And this was before the documentary, I want to say.
I dated one of those before the documentary too.
Oh.
There's something about that big giant nigga who can't read being like a gazillionaire that they're like...
I can do it too.
I can do it too. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. So this was pre-documentary, but this was still like everybody knew about Aaliyah. Yeah, the tape, Aaliyah, so much had already been out. And I remember somehow we got into conversation. I learned this about him. I was like, oh my God. Like I was really turned off, especially the way he was like apologizing for him. And I was like, what the heck? Oof. Huge red flag. I still went with him a few more times. And I specifically remember it was like winter going. It was I started dating with him. I think fall going into winter because he lived in Harlem. I remember remember like hoodie going walking trudging. But it was desperate times. It was like cuffing season is cold. You just lock somebody in.
Oh my God, the winter comes. You don't know if your radiator gonna work, your heat gonna work. You don't know if you're gonna get a Christmas present or not. You in your 20s. You don't know if you're gonna have a job.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So even though there's a red flag, I'm like, oh man. In my head, I was like, it's better to hang out, have somebody like cool to hang. He's cool enough.
Yeah.
Rather than spend another winter by myself on the couch.
Yeah.
So,
but then every ancestor, Sojourner Truth, came by and was like, absolutely not. No, girl. No. You cannot do this.
No, can't do it. So, do you think it's ever better to fake it than to be alone?
Never. There is no situation. I don't think so. And I'm not hard and fast on here. Mm-hmm. No, I don't think so. Because being alone has perks that you savor so much when you are in a partnership. Mm-hmm. And they don't really come back. And you can say the same about being single, right? Because when you're in love and you're like the throes of love and you're like having the best time and you go on a trip or some shit like that, there's nothing like that kind of euphoria.
Yeah.
But there's also nothing like the kind of euphoria of being in Aruba on the beach by yourself. And eating the food you want, when you want, and watching the TV that you want, and being horizontal on the bed.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Right?
I agree, but also I'm in a relationship now, so obviously I'm like, it's not so bad, like
yes. I'm speaking from a place of privilege. Yes,
from a place of privilege in that sense. I'm also an introvert, and I'm very okay with being by myself. Always have been. But it's a lot easier said than done for some people, right? Who are either more extroverted, more, love having people around them to be telling them like, oh, it's so much better to just like sit by yourself. It's fine, Because I've been there, even in my introversion. I've been in that place of loneliness where it's loneliness. You really feel it. It's palpable. It's it's distressing. You feel like you're never going to get out of it. It's overwhelming, right? So I think generally, no, there's never a time to like better to fake it than to just be by yourself. But I also was thinking, when I was thinking of this question, of all the relationships that popped up during COVID and all the COVID boyfriend and girlfriends. Oh. And as soon as that vaccine dropped and the relationships blew the fuck up, a lot of people who started dating like right before COVID and then COVID hit, and now it's like, all right, I'm gonna just hang on to that one nigga I just started talking to because why not?
I see. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
So that's like one specific instance where I could see where it could have been good because the loneliness of COVID was so much for everybody.
So damaging. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, generally, I think, I like being by myself. I think it for some people it takes a lot of self-work to get to that place of being comfortable being alone and being single, or comfortable being alone and not seeing that as lonely. Also,
yeah, yes. I think I might have an easier time because my hobbies are so feminine. That there's so few things I wanted to do with a straight man. I'm watching Drag Race and on Sephora.com. So I don't need anyone really.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because you're an extrovert too. And you're like, I'm chilling.
Yeah, I got to that place, but I definitely felt it was mostly external pressures.
Okay.
It's better to be partnered.
Than yourself being like, girl, another winter,
yes, definitely. I always celebrated Valentine's Day by myself. I was like bought my own lingerie for myself. I never really. It was all mostly external, but I also I have a great time being in a partnership and having like an expanded family as well. That's a benefit that I didn't know was going to come.
Yeah, and when the pressure is external, when you're in it, did you feel like you're aware that it was external pressure?
Oh my God. It felt like everybody was looking at me and saying, well, why is it? What's wrong with her?
Okay.
She's such a catch. Why is she single? Why does she keep letting go of these good ones? Why doesn't she get on the apps? Why doesn't she? It was like a lot of that. And I was like, because I'm working on myself and building a business.
Yeah. Leave me alone. God. At least you had that other voice in your head, like,
yeah, I did.
I'm working on myself.
Yeah, she was loud.
Thank you.
She was like, you don't need to be with nobody. Just chill.
Yeah. Just chill. You'll be all right. Yeah. Now we see Samantha's guy. To me, he's just flat out lying to her, right? About the future.
Fantasy. Telling stories.
Totally.
R.L. Stein.
R.L. Stein. Is there a difference between faking it and just flat out lying?
And lying?
Yeah.
I mean, I think faking it is lying. I think I've never run into this person. Have you ever run into this guy?
Telling lies about the future just to make it happen now. I don't think I've had this encounter before.
Me either.
Personally, no. Yeah, but I mean, I get it. I definitely see how it could happen because this guy, he wants something today.
Yeah.
And he's thinking Samantha is like every other woman, right? I just need to tell her what she needs to hear. I need to promise her commitment, promise her trips, promise her this, that, and the third. I'm going to be her man. And that'll be fine. And even Samantha got a little bit, honestly. I think she was more excited about the Hamptons than anything.
Way more, because she was ready to bring Carrie with her, which I don't think William had plans for.
No, that's true. She called Carrie like, bitch, we going to the Hamptons.
That's reminded me so much of me and you. I was like, if this happened to either of us,
I know.
If we were dating someone with even a little money.
A little bit of money. Talk about we're getting a house in the Hamptons. I would call a friend immediately. Like, immediately. Going to the Hamptons. What you doing Labor Day? I got a man with a house. Let's go.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a thin line between faking and just flat out lying.
Yeah.
And I do think men and women, like, it's not just men that are doing this, right? Lying out here, whatever. I think men and women to some extent are faking it or lying to get what they need. Surviving in these single streets, as I said, like,
lie about this?
I mean, with me in the wintertime, I just lying to him and myself saying everything is fine with this R. Kelly fucking ass apologist, but but just trying to survive the winter, right? It's horrible if you're on the receiving ends and you get caught up in the game. Like Samantha saw the game immediately. I think a lot of times you don't see it. Usually sometimes the relationship ends before it gets too messy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think this happens a lot with wealthy guys.
Oh.
They do a lot of this promising. A lot of this feels real.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I have a club in East Hampton, so I have to rent a summer house. So you're coming with me. Like it just fits seamlessly into like his lifestyle that you believe is real because he has money.
Yeah, that's true. And in his head, it's like he's probably running through women like this. This is his game, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because it always works.
It works. It definitely works with many girls. So he's like, oh, whatever. It's harmless. It's not harming anybody.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's whatever. But it can't, I mean, with Samantha, it's not, I mean, she's fine. She goes home.
Yes.
It's embarrassing, but it obviously hurt her feelings at least. I was thinking of a friend I have who is currently dating a dud. I'm sorry.
No.
Just a full-on dud. It's gone on for way long. I hate it too. It's gone on for way longer than it needs to. Yeah. She never has anything good to say. She's only ever talking about how she's unsure of this, unsure of that. And I'm like, you're not unsure. You're quite sure. You are quite sure, actually, that he ain't it. But she's pretending, and it's so quintessential. It's she's afraid to be alone. We're in our 30s now. She feels like this is it. I got to make this shit work.
Yes. Does she want kids, this person?
She doesn't want kids. So she
that
says.
Is so
part of me
fascinating.
Maybe not, but
maybe. Yeah, maybe. That is a callback to my first question when we started. Is single the worst thing a woman could be called?
Yeah. Yeah, for some people, it burns. It hits them in a certain way. I think childless for some women.
Yeah.
Hits them too in a certain way.
Because less does sound like an insult.
Yeah.
It is insulting.
Yeah. It really is.
It's like, yeah.
I appreciate the term child free that you're seeing a lot more. And I'm trying to be more cognizant of my word choice too. But yeah, I think for a lot of people, it burns, that word. It comes with a lot of heavy connotation of what's wrong with you.
Yes.
That really, there's something wrong with you. And you have to explain. It's like a question mark. What's wrong with you? And so, for this friend in particular, I think she Yeah, she's definitely operating from a place of scarcity. I've said it to her too.
Yeah.
She's like, this is the last good one or the last one she can get, or I don't really know.
What?
And it is interesting because she says she doesn't want kids.
Yeah.
And so you would think, all right, then what's the rush? I mean, you can keep looking for someone. It's not like you need to get, it's not like she's thinking with the clock and she's like, I gotta get this, guy going because I need to get pregnant. But one thing I've told her is flat out, I was like, you're lying to yourself and you're lying to him as well.
Yep.
Call it faking it, whatever, pretending. You're lying to yourself and you're lying to this person. And the breakup, when it happens, because it's inevitable. it is. I just don't to be unsure this long as she's been and weighing the option, like it's not going to end well. So it's not going to end in marriage, I don't think. This is going to be an extremely devastating breakup, if not for you, for him. And I honestly was coming from a place of like protecting him. I was like, you don't like him. I think he might really love you. You need to let him go. Let him get free from you, bitch.
From you and your manipulative ways.
Yes, because you afraid to be sick. Let him go.
Yeah.
If anything, the ending is going to be devastating. It's dragged on too long, and now feelings are involved. Now it's just not like pretending because it's cold outside and I just want to be with somebody. Now it's like 2 years in, and like you are still complaining about him. This is going to be real bad, and you're causing harm, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
To this person that you say you have fond feelings for, that you're falling in love with, that you clearly feel good about, that like you think he's a good person. So why are we hurting him in this way?
Right. Fond feelings is so, that is the
that's my word. I don't think
zone.
she's I was like, damn. I'm hesitant to say love because I don't believe this shit, but okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now, Carrie is wondering if she's been faking being happy and single all this time.
Yeah.
She's looking at herself in this magazine. She's like, do I actually just feel like that? Like, am I just single and fabulous? ? Do you think finding contentment and happiness and singleness takes faking it to get there?
It. You know what? I thought about this in the context of Carrie Bradshaw, the character specifically. Because I wanted to ask you some questions about this too. She just got through a really devastating breakup that was really embarrassing and also very not public, but like a lot of people knew who this man was, and nobody on his end knew who she was.
Yeah.
And so she's been surrounded by so much fakery over the past, however many episodes we've been watching her. And so I don't think she knows even what is real.
Oof.
Her last relationship was not real with Big.
Yeah.
She made up a lot of that stuff that they were feeling and having.
Yeah, she was fully calling him her boyfriend. I don't think he ever referred to her as a girlfriend to anybody. I don't think so.
No, he left her on the street multiple times. So I think to some extent she doesn't know, which I think is really sad, especially for, as we always say, somebody her age. But just as we get older and people are getting manipulative and without us knowing and like slipping through with these manipulative tendencies, that she doesn't know if she's happy, what's real, what she's happy with. So I just thought about Carrie Bradshaw, the character. I didn't really think about the concept itself.
How does she figure that out? Does she get?
She got to stay single for a long time.
Yeah, I think that is the answer. You're right. She does have to sit with herself and get to that place of being like truly achieving happiness on her own, and that happiness being the achievement, not the man, but that finding that contentment on herself. Yeah, that is rough. I have a friend, I've talked about her many times before. She's like the most content single person I know. And I've just watched her from the sidelines, how she's just built this very rich life. Yeah. Really strong community around her, that she doesn't ever really feel lonely. She literally said to me once, she's like, I don't experience loneliness. Like, I don't really ever feel lonely.
How amazing is that?
How amazing is that? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And she's extroverted, but she also does very well by herself. Like she's just genuinely chilling. And I think what she has achieved is very hard to do. And I don't think she's lying either. Like, it's honesty that she's speaking when she's saying like, I'm chilling, but I do think a lot of us, have to a little bit live in delusion and pretend we're happy when we're not, to get on the path of feeling a little bit of real contentment with sitting with ourselves. I feel like deep down, I remember this for myself. Deep down, I knew in my heart of hearts what would make me the happiest was to be with a partner.
Yeah.
But I have no control over that.
Yeah.
I have no control over when that's going to happen.
Yep.
So truly, to get by, you got to fake it till you make it. You got to, because what else is the alternative? I'm just going to sit there and be miserable all the time.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think there is a little bit of truth to that little, you fake it till you make it. You fake things, you feign confidence until you kind of feel it yourself. You have to make your single life as exciting and happy and fun and filled with friends and that you can't help but enjoy yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do think there's a little truth and like there can be a little delusion in that faking it. But I think there is going to be some truth and realness when you're in the moments with your friends and you're laughing, you're having fun, that you are genuinely laughing and having fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Especially when they don't make their whole life about their partner, which is the best type of friends. Then it's the best, especially when you're, on the outskirts of anything. Do you think also while you're single, I found this to be really helpful, working on what Charlotte suffers from, which is that destination high of when I get married, it'll all be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to work on that intensely when I was single to make sure that I didn't put all that pressure on that person, because it's too much pressure for one person to deliver.
Yeah. And they're going to disappoint you because people disappoint.
They will. Yes, exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Charlotte, she's just an interesting archetype within herself. And we all have a little bit of her in us, I think. But yeah, I think what do you call it? Destination.
Destination high.
The destination high. Yeah. I think there's a lot of Charlottes out there because of how we've been socialized. Yep. I can't even blame us for
the individual. No,
we can't. Particularly if you come from a family where people have been married, or a family where women are single. Either way.
Either way.
You're getting the message of you'll be happier with a man, So I can't even fault us for living in that like destination high situation. But it is a very dangerous place to be because, as I said, you have no control over when this woman's going to plop out the sky. You have no idea when it's coming. So why live in that torture and that torment of when he comes, it's going to be great. When he comes, it's going to be great.
Yes.
You don't know when he's coming. So was it not going to be great until then?
And then as we see with Charlotte, they are playing the long game with this character. She's been doing this and doing this and dating and doing this and doing this and doing this. And then she marries somebody who she had no business getting married to.
I know. Oh, God, Trey.
It's for Trey. And we see how that ended up so much worse than her just running around with Carrie having fun.
Yeah.
And Miranda and Samantha.
Yeah, that's true. They do show the consequences. They do. Oh, man. Friend, what did we learn this episode?
Oh my gosh. We learned that we've made so much progress in 22 years or however many years this has been. So. I'm so happy and excited for what women are doing on the internet. And I'm so happy for the communities that we're able to make. I would love to hear from anyone who is single now and maybe a little older, maybe moved cities, and has made their own community any kind of way. And even people have talked about this, but I don't know if this is actually happening. Single women who are like getting together and like raising a kid or something, or like buying a house together or some shit.
Oh my God. We were just talking about this at the park.
You were.
I was listening to a podcast about communes. So a little
what?
Different. But just these alternative ways of living, because it's so hard to buy a house now. It's so hard to have kids now because they're so fucking expensive. And just like alternative ways that people are trying to achieve those things that they want in life, but doing it now with friends or with platonic partners, or it's so hard to find a man. But I want to have a kid. Like just finding other ways to do the things that you want to do. So sorry, say all that to say. there's a lot of musings about this now.
Yes.
These alternative ways. Yeah.
Oh, so if anybody in the community is actually doing it, would love to hear about your experience and what you're doing, because raising a kid with your best girlfriend sounds like dopamine all the time.
Seems like the best idea
The
ever.
best. Can you imagine if we had a baby? I guess we do. We have business. But
We do have this one right here, girl. Yeah.
But if we had a baby, it'd be mad fun.
That would be fun. Yeah. And I'm glad that those I still think these conversations are still like, offbeat alternative.
Yes.
They're not the
for
mainstream.
sure. Yeah.
But even the fact that they're happening, and even the fact I think that's just really important, because it is a tougher time to raise children. It's just so expensive. Just cost of living is so expensive. And just statistics show women are staying single longer. More women are freezing their eggs because they can't find partners. So I think we need to start dispelling the stigma, breaking the stigma on different ways of doing things, different ways of family planning. And living life. So yeah, I agree, friend. I think this episode showed me that it being single has gotten easier. I think.
Ooh.
I think
love that outlook. Yes.
As much as we still say dating is treacherous and fucking sucks out here, everybody's freaks and it's terrible. It's very obvious because of many things, social media being a huge one. We're able to see single people thriving.
Yes. Right. Yep.
In a way that these women weren't really privy to that. These four ladies are very lucky that they have a Samantha in their group.
Yeah, right.
Not a lot of groups have Samantha. It's just a ton of Charlottes or Carries, or just like these three women that center men so intently. But I think, social media has definitely just made it more known that you can thrive and be single. And it doesn't mean that you're washed up or lonely or have to be miserable or any of these things that like the prevailing narrative has been. We're now just proving that narrative is wrong. Yeah. By literally living proof, showing each other that I'm okay.
Yeah.
So I think I'm walking away with that nice little nugget that this show ages sometimes poorly, but I think this is one where it's aged well. It's been nice to look at and see how we've made some progress actually with how, we're supporting each other now through being single. So let us know what you guys think. Please. As always, drop down your comments and thoughts down on Patreon. And rate, review, subscribe, join the Patreon Rose Garden for all this juicy goodness that we got going on for the Rose Garden. Find us on Instagram, TikTok, and we will be back next week.
Sure will. Bye, guys.
Bye.